Hey guys, Tuesday, August 13, 2024. Let's see what the Black Widow has for us today. As you can see in these lines, the green and the red are quant analysis that I use. And so far, the quant analysis was indicating a possible buy around August 1st and a possible top or turning point around August 31st or September 1st. So we're in that ballpark that if it's going to play out, you probably got, all this upside, depending, how far is it going to go? I don't know, but these are the turning points in regards to time. So that's that. First, that's the first thing I wanted to show you, using 10 years of data. Possible low and possible high. Our low came in on August 5th. And this is unknown, and if it's going to play out. Next thing is a cycle that I'm watching. I'm watching two. And this model indicates a possible top around the 11th. Yep, it picked the 11th, and then it kind of flattens out down to sideways all the way to maybe the 16, the 17, 18. That's a Saturday and Sunday. So you could say 16 around here, and then another peak into the 25th. That's a Sunday, so maybe earlier, maybe the 23rd, or maybe it goes into Monday, it's a peak, and then it goes sharply down. That's the first model. So pretty much from a low here, pretty much to the end of the month of August, and then down into September. That's the first model. The second model picks a low around the 3rd, which is very close to the 5th. And then you get a little pullback here. It starts turning on the 10th, on the 12th, 11, 12. We kind of made a peak around there, 225. And then we kind of pulled back onto the 14. Around there, and that's a Wednesday. So, yesterday and today will be down days if this analysis is correct. And then from Wednesday on to Thursday, it could be the EIA report. Maybe demand is picking up. And then we explode to the upside. But this one is nice. So this one gives you an opportunity just in case you didn't get in this analysis or forecast, using probability plays out. This could be a nice explosion to the upside. And then it kind of gets toppy again around the pretty much the last week of August. So we're in the early stages. So this one is probably the better scenario in regards to price action and being more on the bullish side. This one also, this one just kind of reflects maybe the numbers just kind of it kind of goes sideways, but still goes up. And it kind of leans up, around the last week of August, or around there, in that ballpark. This one's a little earlier. This one's a little later. But the yellow one, the cycles are down to September 4th. And this one just kind of dwindles down to the end of the year. So it kind of gets weak. So those are the models. In regards to natural cycle, the annual is kind of indicating the same thing, but this one peaks around the 14th. So this one doesn't go down at all, which is, it's very possible that around the 14th we peak and then go down. But this one then indicates a nice rally to the upside. The other model, or not model, I'm going to say these are not models. This is natural cycles. The first two I showed you were models. These are natural cycles. This is what typically, natural gas on average does using seasonality. So this is a 3-year seasonality data projection, and it shows that using 3 years, it peaks around the 27, which lines up with the models that I've been using. This one is mid, so this is 6 years. So this one kind of lines up with the quant, and it goes a little further out, but pretty much the last week around the ending of August. So you got the 3-year peaking here, you can say the 6-year, the annual peaks early around the 14, it goes down, and then you got the annual decimal, which is an annual plus 10 years together, and it kind of, you got a little more upside until, you know, pretty much the midpoint of August, and then it turns down. So these are all the natural cycles broken up in time frames: 3, 6, annual and decimal together. So that is that. So now we're going to go into one of Gann's techniques that he kind of uses, and he spoke on his courses. He says, look at 10 years in the past. And looking at 10 years in the past, you can see that we hit a peak around the 10th, and it pulls back to the 14th, and then you get this nice explosion and rally, which kind of lines up with this cycle, or this model that I've been using pretty much. So if there's a pullback, this is going to be the sweet spot Wednesday. All you have to do is watch price action. This is not guaranteed. This is not, you know, what you call it, the trying to think of the word that traders use, the crystal ball or whatever. There's something else, I just can't think of it. This is just using probabilities. We just have to follow price action and see if these patterns play out, and if price action is kind of doing what these projection lines are showing. So that's 10 years of data lining up with one of the models going up. And then he also says, look at 20 years ago to see what you get there. And you can see that we hit a peak around the 11th. You know, it's a little off, and then it goes down to the 18th. This one goes a little deeper, but then this one continues going down into September. So a couple of things. If this plays out, this could probably be your fill the gap and maybe lower. I don't know. We'll see. But this one is more on the bearish side. This one is a little more on the bullish side. So all depending on how deep this correction turns if we go down. And I think that's it for this clip. That's all I wanted to show you. Let's just see how this is all going to play out. We're going to go straight into our midpoint chart and then just kind of see some levels. Okay, so here's a midpoint chart. As you can see, we are struggling at the anchored VWAP around 219. We're a little ahead, or 1 point off the 218, which is a 207 degree. Value area low is around 211, which is the 225 degree on the square of 9. So square of 9, 225, and that one is the 270. You can see that this is the area. And so far, we have a Greystone Doji, and not looking too good, too early in regards to the volume. Let's go to our simple glance chart. Nothing's really changed here. The daily, kind of getting an early hockey stick, but too early to tell. Trend is still up. Still intact, but possibly could turn here and maybe do, you know, one of the scenarios I would plan out in the other clips. But let's see. We just got to see what price action is showing. In regards to the geometry chart, we're holding this angle, which is good. I think maybe I showed you one more channel. We're kind of here, and trend line, nothing on the weekly pivots, but trend line kind of holding this on a non-scale chart. So a couple of things there. If this is going to hold, but if it starts breaking down, especially if you take out that low of 215, was it at the low? Yeah, 215. I don't know. Could maybe kiss this low and see if that could hold, which is 209. Or somewhere around 211. Baby steps. If 215 doesn't hold, maybe 211 will be next. All right, so let's go to our midpoint chart. Monthly, biggest here, Gravestone Doji. Hockey stick here on the purple. Mobile still negative. On the daily, using monthly pivots, this is a level you probably want to watch if it's going to hold, which is a 214. But if that doesn't hold, your next one will be around 206. And so far, things are kind of turning here on the Stokes on the daily chart, but the mobile is still positive. So maybe it could be a snapback. So it's one of the things I was showing you on the first couple of clips. If there's is going to be a snapback, this is where it's going to probably play out. It just all depends how deep the snapback is going to go. So if we have a snapback going here, maybe this is your target around 206. If there's a deep snapback, you get the 50 moving average. You can find support and maybe play this out. So we're just kind of looking ahead, forecasting. So if this is going to go down, this could be a target. Looking at the monthly, this is pretty far. You're going to go straight to 192. Looking at our 4-hour, you can see we got a PPS sell signal. There's a level here. If it's going to push lower into Wednesday, we're going to have to probably take out 214. And so far, we bounced, set a liquidity trap here. And now all the people that thought maybe we're going to go up are getting trapped now. And the bears are probably going to push it lower. So we got to see if this 50 moving average is going to hold. If it doesn't hold, we got to see if 214 holds. If 214 doesn't hold, then the pattern might be where we're going to go down, maybe kiss 211. That'll be quick. And if it's going to go deeper, you got 207 and you got your midpoint, which is 203. So these are extremes. This would need to hold for the week. So if it's one of these things until Wednesday and then turn, or, you know, from here going down into Wednesday and then EIA report and it looks really good, maybe that could be the pattern. But these are one of the some of the cycles are showing some kind of retracement. But this is your midpoint, so you got different levels you got to watch. But over here, this should hold. Worst case, you know, 199, but I doubt it. I think it'll probably be around here. You can see that mobiles are negative, so any bounce, you had to just be cautious because it was traps, and there's your snapback. So this is probably where you were probably wanted to go short if you were up around that time, in that time frame. So lastly, look at the hour. So the hour is interesting. So we made a high around 6, pulled back, bounced around, you can say 11, 12, went sideways, found the low somewhere around 1, between midnight and 1, woke up, came up here, got some bulls, trapped some bulls actually, and now you got a PPS sell signal. And never got to the midpoint. So the bulls never had the energy to get to 220. And now they're pushing. You got the 200 coming here. See if that's going to hold 214. So 214 is very key in different areas. You got your low of 215 of the US session. So let's see if this is going to hold. If not, 214, 200. If not, targets to the downside, 213. All the way to 210. And you can see the Stokes are unwinding. So a couple of things I wanted to, because I probably won't be around today, maybe do a US session close. I wanted to show you some things. So notice this pattern on the 1-hour chart. We set our low at 188. We go up somewhere around 1 o'clock. We sell. And somewhere between 8 a.m. we buy, or a buy program. Bulls come in, go sideways in the overnight session, somewhere around 3. This one is not really much. It's just kind of sideways to higher. Sideways here around 2, 1, 2, they pull it back. And between 9 and 10, they buy it. So notice that. going up. Here in the US session, they try to sell it between 8 and 9, and around 11, 12, they buy it. So you notice that? Sell, buy, sideways, buy, sideways, try to sell around, you say 1, 2, between 8 and 9 and 10, buy it. Sideways, try to sell again between, you can say mid afternoon, 12. So 10, 12, buy it. Hit a peak around 6 a.m. They sell it. What happened here? Between 11, 12, 9, the time frames where to return, no bulls showed up. So this is the kind of stuff you need to study in regards to price action. It gives you clues by looking at, the algos and all that, what they all do, machine trading. Something changed here that we didn't get this to do this in the overnight. See that? 9, 10, 12. What happened here? We just poop, went sideways. That kind of price action tells you something's off. So we bounced, we went sideways, and look at what's happening now. We sell off and go sideways, not even at least trying to get to the midpoint. And then we wake up around 1 midnight, go up, failed the high here, and now we're selling, or you can see some weakness. I mean, the trend is still up, but it's the bulls and the bears are now fighting. So that's all I wanted to say. Let's look at the square of 9. Pretty much we're around 216. We're here. It's 214 and 211. If we can close above the 218 today, that could be in a range between 218, 214, 211. But if we go below 211, it could probably get to 204, 205, 204, 203. So that would be your area where if it pulls back into Wednesday, this could probably be the sweet spot, somewhere around here where we could get this bounce if it plays out using all the models I've been showing you in the cycles and everything. So I'm going to sign out. Hopefully this was a good info for you, for those that are long, for those that want to get short, for those that want to get in but not in. A couple of scenarios for you that could possibly play out. The most important thing is, place your stops because you're dealing with the Black Widow, and follow price action because price action is going to pretty much give you the best clues, but you got some different scenarios using data and different models. Well, let's just see which one's the one that's going to play out. Not, financial advice, as you know, but I'm just kind of sharing my thoughts. I'm not telling you what to do, but it just kind of helps. That way you kind of have an idea. Okay, so these are the scenarios. This is a probability. Let's see what happens. If I see price action doing this, and, use your risk management, you could, do whatever your plan will, you want to execute. I'm going to sign out. Have a great trading day. Like I said, I won't be able to do the US close. I'll be busy, but I'll be watching from my phone, and I'll keep you posted on my thoughts on natural gas.